First night with a Nigerian man. Apparently, every woman should experience this. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. Welcome to a sit down that's going to be light and fun. A couple of days ago I asked, I did say that I don't have the capacity to vlog, like I'm just not in the right headspace, but I can't do sit downs because sit downs are quick to shoot, easy to edit, and just put it out there. So I got a couple of things that you guys wanted me to cover, but I realized that it was more of a Q&A than it was topics, because someone was like, please cover co-parenting. I'm like, I can't sit for 30 minutes talking about co-parenting when I don't even have that much experience in it anyway. I'm new to the co-parenting world, but I will cover it in the video that I'll do after this one. But I have to say that I appreciate how so many of you guys are like, do a Q&A with Alwande, do a Q&A with your mom, and so many of you guys are just like, whoa, easy. It is a bit too early and too hectic to be asking for things like that, and I really appreciate that, because I really am not in a space to be having a Q&A with Alwande or my mom or anyone, unless it's some like light-hearted fun video. But I'm not in this. The reason why I'm not vlogging is because I'm not okay. So to also now add on and making things heavy by like answering and asking questions that I'm not in a space to ready to face answer. So one lovely lady, her name is Anita Kai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the surname right. K, it's K-A-I, so I'm assuming it's Anita Kai. She sent me 20 things that she'd like for me to cover, and they're all just fun. She says basically I must talk about my firsts, and I was like, okay, I can do that. Then she gave me a list of the firsts that she'd like for me to talk about. So I thought I'm gonna grab myself a glass of wine and we're gonna talk about this. Okay, first one, Anita Kai. First time you got your period. Okay, you guys, my mom is extremely strict, always been strict, but her strictness was way too much with me because I'm the firstborn. With the firstborn child, trial and error. Our parents don't know what they're doing, so we trial and error in not so many words. So I think she was scared of having the conversation, the talk with me. So I really didn't know much about periods, and also it didn't help that just backstory, I started grade 1 when I was 4 years old. So I finished matric at 16 years old. So when I started my period, I was 12 years old. That's the normal time to start your period, right? But a 12-year-old should still be in primary school. I was already in high school when I started my period. I was in grade 8. So I'm in high school with people who are 2 years older than me. I'm in high school with people who know just a little bit more than I do. So I remember, I'll never forget, her name is Nokwanda Shesi. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well, baby. But wherever you are, you scarred me. So we're talking about periods, and this is before I had my period. So we're talking about periods. I'm curious because I'm in class with these girls who are been on their periods for like 2 years at least. Talking about periods, and then I'm just like, what does it feel like? What is it? What is a period? Because we hadn't covered that in biology as yet. So we didn't have what these kids have now, is it LO, life sciences, that they do at a really, really young age. We didn't have that. We only had those things in high school. No wonder it's just like, you have such a period. I'm like, no. She's like, oh my God, let me tell you what's going to happen. You will bleed. She's like, you will bleed. It's like someone's going to come, open a tap, and I'm gonna basically need to walk around with a bucket, an actual literal 5-liter bucket in between my legs. That's how hectic it is. She's like, the first 2 days, it's a bucket. The day 3 or day 4, it's not that bad. I'll be able to use like a pad or whatever. Then I'm like, no, but I've never seen anyone here at school with a bucket. She's like, that's because we don't come to school when we're on our periods, or it happens on the weekend. So guys, I don't know if she forgot to tell me that she was joking, or she just meant to scare me. Yeah guys, the day my period started, I was sleeping. It started at night. Sleeping, I wake up, there's blood on the sheets. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a bucket. I cried. I bawled. Luckily, my mom was home. And she's just like, what the hell's going on with you? Then I tell her. Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I messed up, but I don't have a bucket. She was so confused. My mom was so confused. My mom was just like, go take a bath. Go take a bath. She cleans, she washes the sheets, whatever. Only then she decides to have the talk with me. But let me tell you guys, like, the weight, the anticipation of having to carry the bucket almost sent me to Akiso. Almost sent me off. And thanks to Unokwanda Shezi, I'll never forget you, girl. But that was my first time. And then after my mom then told me what was going to happen, then my other friends, Unokwe, my friend, no, I wasn't friends with Unokwe at that time. I was friends with, I had two friends at that point, Uwombisa no Chuchu, Asbonge, and she was just, they were like, girl, no, like, it's not that dramatic. And luckily, but I have to say that a few days, well, a couple of, I don't even know how long after Nwanda told me about the bucket story when I started. First time you had a fight with your mom, your boyfriend, etc. I've never, as mentioned, my mom is very strict. She's never given us the opportunity to fight. First time job. So, when I was in grade 10 and we had to do I think I was doing travel and tourism, and one of the requirements for me to pass travel and tourism was for me to work. Then I needed a job, and at that year was the year Ushaka Marine opened in KZN, and luckily, I mean, I was this little child. I don't know how they agreed. I worked at a place called Wahoo's Ushaka Marine. I think it's Akoni Wahoo's, Wahooz. I think that's how you spelled it. I was doing like chopping veggies and stuff. It was not fun. I just did, I think I needed 40 hours of work to pass the whatever it is, the curriculum or whatever. I don't know why we had to work. It was not fun. I hated everything about it, but I did meet a couple of people that I liked, and then they made it fun. I mean, I was the youngest person there, of course, but I did meet like a couple of women who just made it so much fun. They worked in the kitchen and I had fun. But I think it was then when I realized about working is not for me. I am not gonna work. I do not want to work. I was 14, I'm 34. Yeah, 20 years later, I still feel the same. I don't want to work. Working is not for me. But that was my first job, and it was obviously not paid because it was volunteer. Hated it, but I loved the people. And I think it's still Namanje. Like every job I've ever had, I usually hate the job, but I love the people. First time I bought a car. I was 23 when I bought my first car. It was a Nissan Tida. I'm gonna put up a picture of it here. It was so huge. It was such an impulsive decision. I have to say that I was working at that time. I started working when I was 21. And obviously I was working with people who were just a little bit older than me. They had their life together. They had their finances together. And literally everybody around me bought a car. And I just felt like, hey, I'm the only one who doesn't have a car. And I made such an impulsive decision to go buy a car that now in hindsight, I shouldn't have. I mean, it was cool, I guess, but I shouldn't have. I went home. I told my dad that I wanted a car. My dad was just like, you need to calm down, calm down, calm down. It takes time, you know. I got my license in September 2012. Yeah, I was 23 in 2012. September 2012, I got my license, and in December, I got a car. Where now that I think about it, it was such a rushed decision. It's a decision, I shouldn't have bought a car at that time. Not that car anyway, because I bought it, and I think like 2 weeks later, I immediately regretted it because I was just like, why didn't I buy a Yaris? Or why didn't I buy a Polo? Because Nissan Terra was so big, guys, and it used to swallow me up. I used to get stopped by cops everywhere that I went because they didn't believe it was my car. And now that I think about it, I didn't like it. You know, I just bought it because I felt like it peer pressure, bruh, but it peer pressure that I brought to myself, because my friends were never like, oh, you don't have a car. My friends, actually, once all of your friends have a car, more reason for you to not buy a car, because everyone has a car, you know. Someone is going to pick you up, someone's going to drop you off, and it was always the case. I always had someone picking me up and dropping me off. But I think Mina, I needed to satisfy that, and it's something that I do regret. But I mean, damn, like, but I was 23 when I got my first car. It was a Nissan Tida, and I mean, I guess I liked it, but I hated it. I just didn't know what I was doing. And I think after 2 years of having that car, no, it was longer, I bought that car secondhand. And I was in a relationship with my ex, and when we broke up, so there came a point where I think that car footy was third hand, now that I think about it. There came a point where that car used to bother me, like it wouldn't start, or the petrol gauge. There's a time where the petrol gauge didn't work, so I didn't know if I had petrol or not. If sometimes the car wouldn't start, I wouldn't know if it's because of the engine, it's because of the petrol, because it had a lot of issues. Then my ex and I, my partner at the time, it was easy to have a car that didn't work because I had a man. I lived with a man, and every time I started it wouldn't start. I'd be like, babe, come check this out. Then we broke up, and then I moved out of our shared home, and I lived by myself. I tell you guys, like, I was just like, within a week, I was just like, there's no way every time that I get in this car, I'm gonna have a panic attack because I don't know if this car is gonna start or not. And mind you, I'm not with this person anymore, so I can't just willy-nilly call him. I would willy-nilly call him. They'll be like, it's not starting again, but it wouldn't make sense because he was on the I moved to the north in North Riding, and he moved to the south in Rosettenville. So he would pick up the call and try to figure it out with me. But Shem, our breakup was, what did they say? Our breakup was, I don't know what that word I'm looking for. If I'm editing and the word comes, I'm going to put it here. Basically, but we still remain friends after our breakup. I'm now irritated that the word is not coming. But anyway, he would pick up the phone and just try to talk me through it. But I'm just like, he's far. He's in the south. I'm in the north. It just didn't make sense. And within a week, I went to Hyundai and I bought myself a nice little Grand i10. And loved my car. Oh my god, that car suited me. It was small, I was small at that time, and it was perfect. It was brand new. I knew that I'd never have issues with it. And then unfortunately, 6 months later, I got into a horrible car accident and my car was written off. And then I was so scared of driving, I didn't drive for an entire year after that accident. And then a year later, I went in and visited a friend who stayed in Basonia in the south, and I stayed in North Riding. And when I came back from her house, I had to take 4 taxis to get to my house. And that was when I got home. I sat on my toilet and I bawled my eyes out. I called my friend Barry, who lived in the same building. I said, please take me to Hyundai tomorrow. Took me to Hyundai tomorrow. Then the following day, then I ended up with the car that I have now. That was in 2017. We are in 2024, and I'm still very, very happy with my car. I think I'll buy another car when I told myself that I'm going to buy myself a Ranger. I want a big body Benz. Maybe not a Benz, but I want a big body car. So I told myself I'm going to buy myself a big body car when I turn 40. I'm turning 35. I don't know if I can wait 5 years, but I'm still very, very happy with the car that I have now. I'm literally going to drive it until the wheels fall off. Literally fall off. Okay, first time you had a physical fight. The first time I had a physical fight, I ended up in a police holding cell. So, needless to say, it was not fun. It was cold, it was on my birthday, and let me just tell you, you don't want to find yourself in a police holding cell, period, but you do not want to find yourself in a police holding cell in winter. My birthday is in July, and my God. Trumps. I was very, very trumps. But guys, yeah, but this thing of ujwayele ukuba isiphaka, ujwayele ukuba uphumasilo, like you're the phumasilo of the family. You've clocked that title. You're like, yeah, very, I'm the phumasilo of the family. Until one time you phumasilo with the wrong person, you know. And for me, thank God, it was just a police holding cell. But I could have phumasilo with someone who decides to like stab and kill me, you know. Like it could have been worse. And since then, guys, like I do not surround myself with drama, anything that the minute I see that, you know, like voices are being raised, the tone is changing, I duck, I leave, because I'm just like, because there are things that you can't control. Anger, alcohol takes the better of you. And you're just like, I'm not doing this again. So first time I had a physical fight, I ended up in a police holding cell, and I'm never going back there again. So, and also that story was traumatic. So I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud. But yeah, I ended up in a police holding cell, and I had to call my ex, who is he was my ex at the time. No, we were still together, but we had broken up. You know, those break up to make up. But we're broken up, but he's a lawyer, so I was just like, you need to come get me out of here. And he did, but not fun at all. First day of school, grade 1. I don't remember. Do you guys remember grade 1? I don't remember my first day at school. I don't. First time sexual encounter. She's like virginity breaker, not touch. She's just like, I want to be clear, Ukti, I want to know the details. You know what? I had a boyfriend in high school. I've spoken about him before on this channel, and we had told ourselves, we had made a promise to ourselves that we will remain virgins until we finish school. And that was matric. You know, I was a year ahead of him. He was in grade 11 when I was in matric. So we just made a pact that we're not going to be physical. I mean, we kissed, made out and stuff, but we're not going to be physical until we were both in varsity. And I loved him for that. Like, it was such an amazing thought, you know, and he had good intentions for me, shame boy. Then unfortunately he passed away in my matric year in September, towards like the end of the year. It's so crazy. He passed away on the 29th of September, and a couple of years later I had Alwanda on the 29th of September. Like, I'll always tell that story. He passed away, and then I was just like, what do I do with this now? You know, like, we made promises to each other. Like, we had a plan, we had a future planned out together. And what do I do now? And then I just like remembered, I was just so irritated, and I was just like, okay, cool, I guess I'll remain a virgin, but like, the person that I wanted to do it with is gone, you know. Then life continued. I passed matric. I just decided, then let me just keep this promise then to myself, since he's not here anymore. Then we passed matric, and then I took a gap year after matric because I was just going through the most. I was admitted in hospital. I couldn't get the school that I wanted. It was just a lot. So I took a gap year, and during that gap year I was just like, wait, let me just do it. I have to say that it wasn't with anyone special. I did it because I just wanted to get it out of the way, and I did it because the person I felt like I wanted to do it with was gone. So I felt like it didn't matter. And I think because I was going through so many emotions at the time, I felt like I will never find someone I'm gonna love, you know what I mean? And I just felt like it doesn't matter then who I do it with, because I'm never gonna love again anyway. Well, little did I know that I would love again. But at that time I was grieving, emotional, I was just going through a lot. So I was just like, I guess it doesn't really matter who I do it with, because I'm not gonna love anyone. And I just did it with, like, I will call him a friend. We still keep in touch on Facebook. We still keep in touch. I'll call him a friend. It was okay. But I also felt like I could have done this sooner. I felt like, why did I wait? I could have done this sooner, but I'm glad I don't want to say I'm glad I waited. Like, it is what it is. But it was okay. It was painful, but I could have done it sooner. First time you visited a specific city. The first time I left KZN was to go to varsity. I had never left KZN before that. Well, I left KZN to go do a test at TUT the year, a few months before I was accepted. So it was daunting, it was scary, but I had my parents' support. That's the one thing, the more I realize about my parents. Like, my parents have always supported my dreams, no matter how crazy they are. Like, whatever I say I want to do, my parents will support it. Like, and I'm very grateful to have parents like that, because sometimes you look at some of my friends who are just like, yo, my parents would never allow me. And I'm just like, yeah, I've been very lucky to have parents who just allow me to do whatever I want, as long as I believe it's best for me. So yeah, the first time I moved to a different city was to Pretoria. It was such a culture shock. Oh my god, let me tell you guys a story. Oh, let me tell you a story about my Pretoria culture shock. But first time a specific city. Oh yeah, so in Pretoria, when I arrived, so I'm from Durban. Well, I'm in Durban. I live in, you guys know this. In Durban, they sell mealie meal just like everywhere else, but you buy it, they boil it in the streets for you, and you just buy it and go. In Pretoria, it was my first time seeing that you guys buy the corn and then they put salt on the corn. And I was just like, well, this is new, it's interesting. Then I buy the corn, they put the salt. I get in the taxi. There by Van der Walt Street. I was in town. The taxis to TUT, they used to be there by Pretoria West. They used to be there by Van der Walt Street. I don't know if it's still the case. I get in the taxi. I'm here. So this man, I think it's the driver. Well, it's the driver. He's going on and on and on and on. He's speaking Tswana, whatever it is. And then I realized also another thing I noticed in Pretoria. You guys mix the three languages together, which makes it so difficult to learn. Because I'm just like, what's the difference? Ulishanu, umaga, what's the difference? It's just like, oh my god, it's so difficult to learn one at a time because you guys mix all these languages. Then this man just going on and on. Then I started to realize and noticing, hi man, they talking to me. And then I'm like, then this girl, I think she was also at CUT. She's just like, hey, do you understand the language? I'm like, no, I don't. What's happening? She's like, this man is saying the taxi won't start because you are eating in his taxi. I'm like, oh, you're not allowed to eat in a taxi. I don't know. In Durban, you could eat in taxis. I'm like, you're not allowed to eat in a taxi. She's just like, no. Then I'm like, okay, cool, okay. But literally, he was about to kick me out. And then this girl, the non-kulumel, language, in I was just like, I got to raise. And I think it was my first week. I got to raise and I cried. And now that I think about it, yeah, the words were, how's you, amo texting? How's you, amo? And I was just like, I don't know who you're talking to, A and B. Why can't I eat in the taxi? And I was just like, got to raise and I cried. I used to cry every single day. I think I was okay after like a month. And I wasn't fully okay, but it was just a matter of, Amanda, like, get yourself together. And then I made a friend, her name is Yonela. She's crossed up, but she had been in Pretoria long enough to understand the language. And I was just like, I'm never letting you go. I'm never leaving your side. If I need to go to town, I'll tell you, can you please come with me? It was free. Let me get on the bus, you go to town. Anything that I need, you are literally my person. And she became my person, thank God. But it was such a culture shock to get to Pretoria, from eating corn with salt to not being able to eat in a taxi, to the language. The language barrier killed me. Like, it knocked me off. I thought I was good. First prenatal visit. Oh, that wasn't fun. That wasn't fun because I was in school. I was in varsity when I found out that I was pregnant, and I had to go by myself because my baby daddy, Alwanda's father, told me straight up that he's not interested. He's not part of the child's life. So I had to go by myself. No one knew. I didn't tell any of my friends. The one friend that I was with, her name is Bonolo, who was there when I took the test. She was unavailable that day. So I went to like a clinic. There's a hospital. I don't know if it's still there in Pretoria West, called Folanteng. I used to clinic there. It was so crazy because the maternity section or the maternal section, it was a public hospital, but you wouldn't say. Like, you'd go by appointment and you get there, you don't sit on the bench. Like, it was privatized in a way, but it wasn't fun. And then I found out in January when I was pregnant, and then in March I went home for school holidays, and then I had to tell my parents. And then my mom, obviously mad as hell, but she still wanted what's best for me, and I was under her medical aid, so she took me to her private doctor friend who's a gynecologist, OB/GYN. And I have to say, none of my visits were ever nice. Like, I didn't have fun. My first pregnancy was not fun. You can imagine. I'm in school. I'm doing my second year in varsity. This man just told me that he doesn't want me, and yeah, it was not fun at all. Then you say first day of motherhood, the day our Wawa was born. Alwanda was born with 3 holes in her heart. So immediately, firstly, Alwanda was a emergency C-section. So I tried to push. Everything was supposed to be natural. My water broke the natural way. I went into labor and a natural way. Everything was natural until we got to the hospital, and I pushed. And I just couldn't, I couldn't. And then I was told that she was going to go into distress. And if she goes into distress, she might come out paralyzed. She might die. I might die. A lot could happen. So then we had to do an emergency C-section. Cool, we do the emergency C-section, which was traumatic as hell. I could talk about that in another video, but it was extremely traumatic for me. That my pregnancy birth process was just not fun at all. And then I give birth, and they show her to me, but it was quick. It was quick. I don't remember seeing her. And my mom was in the room, and it was just a lot. And then I was taken to go sleep, and then the following day I went to see my child. Like I passed out. I gave birth at 19:02, so 7 in the evening. And obviously I was on medication, drugged out, passed out. So in the morning I'm just like, oh, I want to see my child. Then they're like, oh, we can't bring the child to you. You have to go get the child, like to the child. The child was in ICU. I think it's called in ICU. And I'm just like, why is she there? And I'm just like, okay, let me go see her. But then I just had a C-section the previous day. I can't walk, you know, and it's just like, you can't see her. Then I'm like, what's going on? Then they're like, okay, your mom's gonna come and explain. I'm just like, can someone explain what's my child? Then I was told that my child was born with 3 holes in her heart, so she's gonna, eventually they're going to close up by themselves. They said if they don't close by the age of 5, I must come back. She's gonna have to have surgery, blah blah blah. And she was also born with jaundice. There was just a lot of things that was wrong with Alwande when she was born. The results, then I didn't get to see her, and then eventually when we took her home, I didn't have time with her because I had to go back to Pretoria to go write exams. I gave birth around September. I gave birth on the 29th of September, and we were literally in the middle of you know, writing like tests and exams, and I couldn't miss it because I felt like, already I'm pregnant, let me just pass the year. So I don't really remember motherhood as like that as I should, or as I do the second time, because everything happened so quickly. And then I had to go back to school, and then I came back in December, and I came back around there's like almost 3 months, and it was just like I missed out so much, and I was still a child. It was just, it was not fun. It was not fun. And that's why, guys, I will always, like, I see TikTok of these young girls, they like, mama pregnant, and you can tell by 17, 18, and you're just like, guys, please, like, don't do it. Do not, whatever you do not fall pregnant, especially when you're young. I think that pregnancy is great for 30 and up. Even Nakona, it's still teenage pregnancy. I don't know, but it wasn't fun. First day at varsity. First day at varsity was scary. It was really, really scary. But what I found comfort in was that a lot of us were not from Pretoria. A lot of us, like, I made friends with my friends. My name is Abongile. She's from the Eastern Cape. Another friend, her name is, almost said was, her name is Osia. I mean, we're not friends anymore, but like, those are the 2 people like I just gravitated towards. And I think because it was that Xhosa Zulu thing, like, and we could relate and understand each other, language vibes. Uyonela, also the one I said I was like stuck by her. Then I had a friend, Sharon, who is Tswana, and she tried to teach me Tswana. But like, the first day of varsity, it wasn't fun because we were locked up in Reza. I got there during all week. I didn't enjoy it. Shame, I didn't enjoy it. I just wanted to be out because I felt like, well, why is it Valelwe? I didn't enjoy. First time you move from your parents was for varsity, and it goes back to this point, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, I didn't enjoy it. But with that being said, I was excited about moving away because I felt like I was my sister's mother. My mom is a nurse. She still does work like crazy hours, so I was always left with my sister, always left to take care of her. And I was just like, I can't wait to get out of here so I don't have to take care of anyone. And then I figured Pitoring a meet. Yeah, after being like, I can't wait to get out of here so I can stop taking care of people. I can stop being, I don't need to be a mother. I'm not a mother. And literally I got to Pretoria and your girl fell pregnant, and I became a real mother case. First heartbreak. First heartbreak, guys. Yes, I will never forget that feeling. After having Alwande, life continued. I came back to Pretoria, life continued, and then graduated. And in my year of graduation, I started dating this guy. We will call him Dust, because I started dating Dust. Dust and I got along like a house on fire. It was fun. The relationship was great. I had a friend at that time. We will call her Dustier. So that was my very, very close friend. Dustier was my close friends. Like, she knew my family. She's been to my home. I've been to her home. We knew each other's parents. We were like this. So I'm dating Dust. Things are fun, whatever. Then But I lived in Pretoria because I had my internship in Pretoria. So I would go to Joburg. They lived in Joburg. Every weekend. So during the week during the week I'm in Pretoria working, and on the weekends I'd come and I stay at Dust's house. Tell me why I find out via, like intuition. My intuition is just like something's happening between Dust and Dusty here. And I'm just like, Dusty here wouldn't do that to me. So I let it go. I don't listen. One day I was in Joburg for the weekend as per usual. Then my phone breaks. Like my phone just dies. Then I ask Dust, he had an extra phone. Dust gives me his phone. He's like, you can use this phone for the weekend. You can actually use this phone until you sort out your normal phone. Dust gives me his phone. Guys, like when we on your phone, you don't log off your Instagram, you don't log off your Facebook. Even if you take your SIM card out, you don't log off. And he didn't log off his Facebook. So as I'm setting up his phone for my stuff, I'm about to log into my Facebook. His Facebook is there, staring at me in my face. And I'm just like, should I? Shouldn't I? And I did. I did. Hi, well, the things I saw between him and Dusty. And I think for me, it wasn't even a matter about, okay, clearly there's something happening here. They were together, they were dating or whatever it is. But I think it was the things she was saying about me. He had my back in their Bash Amanda thing. And it was crazy to me that how he had my back and she didn't. She was just like, they were talking crazy about me. Like, oh, your little girlfriend. She used to call me his little girlfriend is here. So I'm chilling with I'm thinking I'm chilling with my friends. We're having fun, we're drinking. She'd be telling him, oh, your little girlfriend is here. She is so insecure. Yeah. She is so insecure. Sorry guys. They were just going back and forth, talking shit about me. Then I pretend as if I continue. I just keep quiet. I go on about my day. I don't confront him. I don't confront her. But I literally needed to ask everybody else. Because we were a group of friends. I asked everybody and everybody confirmed that it's true. They were together. They just didn't know how to tell me. Then I'm like, okay, sharp. And then I left. Like, I never confronted them. Oh no, I did confront her, I think a week later. I never confronted him, but obviously he knew that I knew because she told him. And obviously he tried begging, because I just left. I just picked up my bags and I left. I stayed in Pretoria, continued staying in Pretoria, but that heartbreak was so bad, you guys, that I had to go back home. And this story might be familiar to you because my heartbreak with Milani's dad also was so bad that it sent me home. And that's why for me, I was just like, oh my god, I can't go through a heartbreak. Like, I can't handle heartbreaks because they just send me home. Literally, I got on an SA Roadlink bus and I went home heartbroken, in tears. I was in tears every day. I stayed at home. I took time off work and I was just like, I can't do this. Stayed at home for a week, and that's how bad it was. And since then, whenever I date, I always tell my friends that now for me, cheating is such a deal breaker, because I always hear women saying cheating is not a deal breaker, or women who stay with people who cheat. And for me, I'm always just like, straight to you. I don't know how you do it, guys, because for me, that heartbreak was so messed up. And I'm glad it was my first heartbreak, because if not, I probably would have taken a cheating man back. If he didn't cheat with my best friend, I probably would have forgiven and taken him back. But because he cheated with my best friend, I was just like, this is unacceptable on both your ends. Both of you are trash. Both of you are dust and dustier, you know? Both of you are dust and dustier. Both of you are just trash, and I don't want anything to do with this. And because he cheated on me with my best friend, the heartbreak was 10 times more. As a result, whoever I'm dating, the minute I feel like, it doesn't even need to be proven. The minute I feel like, beyond reasonable doubt, that you are cheating on me, I leave. I don't need for you to prove it to me. I leave because I always tell myself, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it at 19. I was 19 at that time. I couldn't handle it. 19 to I was 20. I couldn't handle it at that time, and I know I'm not going to handle it now. I know that my little heart is not built for it. I sometimes look at women who stay with men who cheat, and I'm always just like, how do you guys do it? Women stay with men who have babies on them. Like, now, not only do I know or I suspect that she cheated, now there's a child, you know, and you still stay. And I'm always just like, I don't have that strength. you are a better woman than me. I can't, guys. I know people say never, but I've never stayed with a cheater. The minute I suspect a man is cheating on me, I'm out. I don't even play those games now. I'm like, I do not have time or capacity to let a man send me back home again, only to find 10,000 years later Milani's dad sent me back home. But that was a completely different reason. But for me, hey, that was my first heartbreak, and it was a heartbreak.
Don't talk to my dad.
Ooh, girls, people with dads. I'm sorry. But since then, that was the biggest heartbreak. The most, I don't even think I recovered from it. But even a man, it is a song, and I think it hurts more because it was a friend, and I really loved her. My first kiss. Would you guys believe me if I told you that my first kiss was with a woman, a girl? So, I had a boyfriend in high school, the one I always talk about. I could see that, you know, pressure, we need to kiss, like, it's getting there. Because we used to be like, mwah, mwah, mwah. And now I could see a good time, and it's going that direction. Because now we need to exchange saliva. So then there was this girl who I knew had a boyfriend, and I had seen them kiss before. Then I go to her and I'm just like, dude, like, well, I go to a couple of girls that I've seen kiss before. One of them is just like, she gives me an orange. She says that I need to, like, ngilumi orange and like throw away that part, and then she's like kissing it like I don't know how to explain it in English. Like, kissing is like sucking on an orange. So I do it, like I get the orange and I'm like, this does not, it does, this does not seem right. It does not feel right. Then I go to this other chick. I had seen her kissing her boyfriend at school. Then I'm like, girl, like, how do we kiss? And she's just like, I'd have to show you. Like, she's like, I can't tell you how to kiss, I'd have to show you. I was just like, oh, okay, show me. She showed me. Woo! She showed me. I'm having flashbacks. She showed me, and I was just like, I want to kiss you. I was just like, I think I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you for the rest of my life. Not him, not the person I'm practicing for, but for her it was just I'm showing another girl how to kiss. And yeah, yeah, she showed me. And
what did he show you? What did he show you? He just how you kissing. What did he show you?
Nothing, mama. First time you used a tampon, yo, I was grown. I was in my 20s. I've always been scared of it. And then one time I started my period, and the people I was around didn't use pads, and this lady was just like, no. One of the girls was just like, I have a tampon. I was just like, okay, let's do it. She gave it to me, and then she stayed with me in the bathroom. Like, when I'm like, girls. She stayed with me in the bathroom. She even offered to, like, you know, put it up, and I was just like, no. She even offered to, like, you know, help me put it up. I was just like, no, it's okay. Just show me, like, stay here and tell me if I'm doing it right. I mean, obviously it's very hard to tell if you're doing it right or not, but she showed me, and I'm not a fan of them. I still prefer pads. I just find them uncomfortable. But I will use it on days where I need to use it. But it wasn't fun times. First time you tried alcohol. Let me tell you about the first time I tried alcohol. I hate that I loved it. I loved it. So I used to, after matric, I took a gap year. I think I've said this. Then I found a job at Wimpy. The Wimpy in North Beach. If you live in Durban, you know that Wimpy, the one in North Beach. There's a stairs, there's a Joe Cool's on top. That Wimpy. I went and worked at Wimpy, and then I got friends there. I made friends there. So one time, this other friend of mine, she says to me, it was a quiet Friday. She says to me, go to the toilet. Usually we'd tell each other to go to the toilet because we would hide food. So at Wimpy, we're not allowed to, you know, if you decide to come and eat and you order 2 rashers of bacon and you only touch one, and I can see when you eat it, I can see that you didn't touch it. We're not allowed to touch the other one. So what we'd do is, when we're cleaning up the tables, we'll take a serviette, roll up the other one in a serviette, put it in your apron, then go to the toilet and put it there, or eat it there, or put it there for your friend if you're full, like a banger. If someone came and didn't eat their sausage, so they banger, do the same thing and put it there. Tell your friend that, hey, go to the toilet, there's something for you there if you are full. Then Umpume, she's just like, go to the toilet. In my head, I'm just like, food. Then she's just like, when you get to the toilet, open the toilet thing, the flasher, open it. Then I open it, I see a Hunter's Dry, like 6 of them. They're inside there. I open it and then I take out one. Then immediately she joins me. Then she comes in, she opens one, she opens one for me, then she's like, drink this. I'm like, huh? Then I have a taste. Then she's like, this is no time to be tasting. You need to drink this because there's no time. Anyone can come in here. I downed a Hunter's Dry. And I downed it and I was just like, what is this? And I want more. Where can I get more? And then she was just like, more is in the toilet. Get in. Yo, guys, it tasted so nice. This was in 2006. We are in 2024. I still drink Hunter's Dry. To this day, I will never stop drinking Hunter's Dry. I will only stop drinking Hunter's Dry the day I stop drinking alcohol. And the day I stop drinking alcohol, it's because I'm pregnant or I'm fasting. I will never stop drinking. I downed the Hunter's Dry. It tasted like apple munch, and I was just like, this is my shit. Loved it. Still love it till this day. But first experience on a plane. Excuse me. First experience on a plane, I was 21 years old. I worked for a magazine called Essentials Magazine. It doesn't exist anymore. But I was a fashion assistant, and my fashion editor, who was my boss, had a trip to Cape Town. She was invited by Ackermans to cover the new range or whatever. Then she had an issue where she couldn't go. Then she asked if I could go for her. And for me, it was so scary because I'd never been on a plane before. And I tell her that, look, I'm scared. I don't mind going to events. I was a journalist. Well, I was an intern. But like events, we had events every day. Events not a problem. But like getting on a flight. She's like, no. There's someone at the airport who's going to meet you there. It's going to be fun. I was so scared. And she was just like, you're going to be okay. And I was okay. We got on a flight. Guys, this plane sounds like it's right here. I think a helicopter. I think my biggest issue at the time was that, well, I've never been on an airport ever before. And it was OR Tambo, the biggest airport ever. It was so scary, but it was... Even like my fashion editor, she checked in for me. She made sure that I got the window seat. It was fun, but it was scary. And I was 21 years old. And I was thinking about it the other day. And I'm just like, the first time I got on a flight, I was 21. The first time my daughter, Alwanda, got on a flight, she was 2 years old. And the first time Milani got on a flight, she was probably like 6 months. And I'm just like, we are doing well. Because... how am I 21 getting on the flight for the first time, but my kids are 2 and 6 months getting on the flight? So it was scary, but we soldiered through. And after being gay, I think once I got on that flight, I don't think I ever want to get on a bus ever again, because I used to take buses home. Then I was just like, hell no. Then I had a friend who worked for Mango, and she used to do those rebate things for me. Is it rebate? Yeah, I think those standby. And I was like, I used to pay her 300 rand or whatever. Guys, no, since that first time on a flight, I never got on a bus ever again. First night with a Nigerian man. Apparently, every woman should experience this. I've never been with a Nigerian man. I almost lied and said I've never been with a non-South African man. I have. I've been with a Zimbabwean. It was okay. Nothing to run home about. I've never been with a Nigerian man. I've never given them a chance. It's funny when you say apparently every woman should experience this. I will make sure it's part of my bucket list. I mean, what do I have to lose? But I've never been. Yeah, I think I've only been with one non-South African man, and it was a Zimbabwean guy. We dated for like, I wouldn't date. Let me not lie. Yeah, we dated. I guess we dated. We went on a couple of dates, and we kicked it, as the kids say. We kicked it. Right? Situationship. That's what the kids say. Situationship. We had a situationship. He was a very fine man. He still is. You know, I see his Instagram sometimes and I'm like, whoo, fancy. But I mean, my time with him, he is, yeah, not personality wise, he's amazing. He's funny. He's now I miss him. Now I want to call him. But like, he's funny. Like, he's someone that you want to be around and spend time with. But the deed itself, it was okay. It wasn't anything to like run home about. I've had better with South African men, Xhosa to be exact. But again, this was actually fun, and it's light. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Anita. I will do, since I'm in the talking mood, maybe I must just do the other one. But the other one is, ew, the questions you guys sent are heavy. And you know I'm gonna answer. I always answer. But I'm in a good mood right now, so I'm not sure if I want to get myself in there. Because I was like, should I just shoot to the other one's a Q&A. It's mostly Q&A. And yeah, the questions you guys have been thinking. You have thoughts. And maybe I'll shoot it tomorrow. Let me bask in this good mood that I'm in right now. I do thank you so much to Anita Kai for this idea. You guys, I always say you are my content producers. I actually enjoyed this one from you are now part of my elite employees, Anita. Thank you so much for sending this through. I actually enjoyed it, thinking about things that I've done, things I regret. Like, I regret getting arrested. I guess I wasn't really arrested. I was in a holding cell for a night, but still, like, I regret putting my hands on someone. I regret, like, the things that, like, you made me think about, that I need to go think about myself and just be like, Amanda, what were you thinking? But we're here now. I've grown. Definitely I've grown. I will never put my hands on anybody ever again. And even that time, it was just a night of drunk. It was my birthday, you know. But like, doing this has made me like think about people, whether it's ex-friends, people who've had my back, and people who've there for me, like my life in Pretoria. It just made me think a lot. I might just like make a few phone calls to just, or not a phone call, since send a text here and there to just be like, you are appreciated, baby girl. Thank you for having my back at that time. Thank you for taking me through Pretoria. Thank you for being, especially when you're there, like, maybe I might just actually have to call. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for this idea, Anita. You made me think a lot about things and reflect a lot about, you know, the kind of person that I used to be and the kind of person that some of that Mandy I don't want to be again. Like, I'm not there. And this was a nice time. It was a nice reflection video for me. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.